Welcome back to Rick's Scale Model Fix and part 2 of the Kinetic F-104 build. At the end of the last video we were at the stage of joining the fuselage halves together. We've done quite a bit of work to the internal sections of the model, and just prior to joining the fuselage halves together I flicked through the instruction booklet and decided that maybe the best plan of attack was to build up the intakes first before joining everything together. So I've already done one side, and the fit of the parts was absolutely exemplary. Everything went together as it should do, and with very minimal seam cleanup. So the intakes are broken down into 3 sections. So the first section of which is the splitter plate, which is added to the fuselage side with 3 locating pins. So we'll just fill those up with glue. And slide those into place, like so. And I'm just going to run some liquid cement up the inside of the seam just to make sure nothing comes away during the build, and we'll add some to the inside as well. So test fitting the outer intake part just to make sure everything still lines up, which you can see there the fit is superb. It's worthy of noting that there are ejector pin marks on the inside of the intake. I'm not going to be bothered tidying these up, they cannot be seen on the completed model. Very little can be seen down the intake. Just making sure everything's nice and cleaned up there. And we're now going to fit in the inner intake part, which makes the outer intake shell, if you like. Just button that up and press it up, and then just going to add a little bit of glue to the pins and squash it all into place. Just got a bead of glue come out there, so if you get that happen, just go back over it and melt it away. As I said, not really much to be gained for clearing out the sorting out the ejector pin marks, as you can't see anything up there when it's attached to the model. So as you can see, that's a perfect fit. A little bit of flash there, but we'll take care of that. So we're going to attach this using some super glue. So we just use a little bit of super glue there just to hold the parts in place. So we're just going to put some super glue just in the corners. And this just holds the outer intake shell in place. So we can align it perfectly. And just hold that in place. Just ease it in. Job's done. So just to make this a little bit more secure and more permanent, we're now just going to add some tomato cement, and it's just on the insides of the intakes, and we'll just let that glue run along and form a bond. So we've got a little bit of flash on that part, but we'll clean that up with a sanding sponge. And that's a lovely pair of intakes. Like I said, there's nothing with these kits that I've come across when I built the last one. Everything just fits perfectly. And just to do the dry fit and just to make sure we're starting to look the part. So all that's left to do now is get some of the other bits and pieces on the fuselage. So we're going to have a look at the cannon insert, and the time has come to start putting all the interior parts together. So there's two cannon muzzle inserts provided in the kit, one that's blanked off and the other one if a gun's fitted. So we'll just clean up the mating surfaces and removing any sprue attachment points, and we're just going to offer this up into the aperture, and again the fit is perfect. So just watching fingers, we'll just add a quick bit of Tamiya glue on the inside. That way we don't run the risk of marking the rivet detail on the outside of the kit. So again, another superb fitting part. Okay, so with the parts now dry, we need to start looking at getting some of these items into the internal sections of the kit. So we'll start with the main gear bay. Again, it's just a push fit, making sure everything fits. And as you can see, it's only going to fit one way around, as the bulkheads along the go in one way. So again, I'm going to apply the glue just from the inside. This is very reminiscent of the Hasegawa kit in the terms of the way the model goes together. For anyone that's built that kit, I'm sure you'll recognise some of these sequences. So every time we add something to the model, we're just going to check that it doesn't compromise the fit of the fuselage in any way. As you can see, it doesn't. And a lovely detailed main gear bay there. So we've got some inserts to go on, which we'll add as we go along. We now need to add the jet pipe. That's located on two mounting points. And it's interesting to see the two little cutouts in the tail there. It must correspond to those. Doesn't want to go in, so we'll have a little look. It's interesting as well to note that there's some cut lines on the inside of this model. So perhaps Kinetic envisaged at some point that they were going to have a cannon bay, or be able to remove the rear end. Just worked out that there's actually some flash on that. Again, we're just going to check that everything does go together. This way you could preempt any fit issues. So our tail looks a little bit warped, but it'll come together when it's under glue, pressure with the glue. That all fits nicely. So we'll add some glue to this. In fact, we don't think we probably need to add any glue. The fit's that good. And just to make sure, we shall stick some in the locating holes. That's better. And again, we're just going to check that everything still goes together. That tail goes together a little bit better now. Clips into place, nice and central. Okay, so with the cockpit tub, this was painted up when the switch gear was painted, and that Edward look instrument panel just slotted in place. Its colour's a little bit off, I think, and matched to the dark gold grey, but still looks pretty good. So we're just going to add this. We need to secure the decking, the avionics bay behind it, and that'll secure into the cockpit tub. So I was just checking the orientation of this part. So it does go that way, like so. So we'll just put some glue. And that into place. And again, we're just going to check that it all lines up. Right. So we just keep some pressure on that while the glue dries. So we'll just use a piece of Tamiya masking tape. And all it's going to do is just make sure that that avionics tray at the back does actually glue in the correct position. And doesn't tip out when the time does finally come to glue the fuselage sides together. I'll just add glue to the inside. So there we go. So the airframe is really coming together now. So we've just got to clear some bits and pieces up, have a quick sand of those air intakes, just remove that flash on the starboard side. We've got to add the cockpit tub, and we've got to finish painting and decorating the ejector seat. So we just need to put those Edward seat belts on there, sort of liven it up with a bit of dry bushing and a wash. And the same with the cockpit tub, just needs bringing alive a little bit. It's just freshly painted at the moment. So we've done quite a bit of work to the Kinetic Starfighter, and we've got the intakes on now, and we've got the radome attached to the front of the airframe. We've put that plate in that we saw for the nose gear, the main gear bay and the belly plate. We've got the small fairing at the back, and that's been added. And we've secured the fuselage. We've done a little bit of work to the seams for the intakes, and they're now well flush. So basically it's ready. We just need to allow this to dry now for a period of time. Once we come back to this build, we'll be looking at making some of these the work up to scratch, where we've slipped with the glue and we've got fingerprints and bits and pieces. we're going to be using some Mr. Surfacer that's been diluted down just as a joint filler and a gap filler just for some of these little imperfections, probably due to just sanding the mating surfaces a little bit too much in that area. Certainly nothing that's the kit's to blame for. We did have a little accident with some glue running through the hole for one of the aerials at the top. Got trapped under the masking tape and that's left a scar in the plastic, so we need to remove that. So if you've enjoyed watching so far, then please subscribe, as there's certainly a few more parts to come with this Starfighter. So until next time, please take care.